Hello everyone, welcome here to round number 4 of the 2015B NASA RallyCross Challenge season. We're back on the backstretch of the Talladega Super Speedway, the 2.66 mile oval. We're not using all of that oval though, we're using a nice little cozy section of this back straightaway. As it's Josh Mertz and Daniel Bellamy bringing you the call once again for the Automotive Sports Network this week. And here is the course that we're running that I just mentioned. The backstretch at the Talladega Super Speedway, it's a really interesting course. It's really tight. The Joker goes underneath that big gap jump. You got the big grandstand with the tabletop jump. The big dirt mound that our camera right here is situated on. Go around that chicane. Daniel, I know you've raced here once before. How's this track to drive on?
Oh, it's pretty tricky. It's really tight, and it's one of the few courses we have that features a gap jump, which is a favorite obstacle of mine. I love jumping over gap and get punished for it if you don't make it. Also, the tabletop turn is going to be a tough one to master through today. You have to hit it with enough speed to keep a good lap going, and you can't go too slow or you may just end up in the wall.
As speaking of slow, the defending champion spun out in that section, as here is the seeding round results. Wetz 29.352, a second quicker than Hagenstein. Then it's Livingood, Denice, Dylan Smith, newcomer Jonathan Taylor, Chad Mikos, is back in car 25. Then Mertz and Arnold Columbia back in the Team Klondike Ford. He hit the tires, and that invalidated his lap. As the costs are rising here in the NASA Rallycross Challenge, you might have noticed it's only 9 cars this week, and I don't think the drivers are too happy.
Yeah, a lot of these teams are losing money just trying to show up to the track, to be honest. Not to mention you got to pay for your track fees and the race fee, and that just adds more cost to a problem that's already coming through with these racers. You want to show up at the track and you want to race, but if you can't pay for it and you don't win, then what's the point of forking out money when you can't build a car?
And hints from the paddock, this race might be the last of the NASA Rallycross series, but we'll have to let you know on the ASN Facebook page. If we end up getting a 5th race next week in St. Eustache, Josh Mertz is pulling away with this championship. He won last week. Yes, he crashed in his seeding lap, but he was a second quicker than everybody else in practice.
Yeah, I think the win at Island really helped his momentum going forward into the championship. This may be the last race, so you never know. He still has to treat it like a whole season is going on.
And along with the costs going up, Volkswagen is gone. The LMT Red Bull Repsol Volkswagen team withdrew from the NASA Rallycross Challenge following all those issues last week. Tanner Smith thinks Dylan Livingood wrecked him. Livingood said it was a racing incident. Lambert's really upset at race control's decision to penalize Livingood after the race, and that is why the grid is shrinking. Today we will have 5 constructor cars and 4 privateers to make up the 9-car field. Your format for today's race: 9 cars, like I mentioned. Seeding has already taken place. The quarterfinals, there will be 1 heat with 5 cars, 1 of 4. 4 laps apiece. You have to take the Joker once. The winner will advance and you get 2 bonus points. Others move to the semis. There will be 2 semifinal heats, 1 of 4 and 1 of 3. 6 laps, Joker once, the winner advances, you get a bonus point. The remaining cars will go into the LCQ, which is 3 laps, Joker once, the top 2 advance, and 7th through 9th will be awarded points. The final will be 6 drivers for 8 laps, and you have to take the Joker twice. And what is your opinion on the Volkswagen team withdrawing?
Well, like I said last week, I thought the penalty was bogus being after the race, and, it kind of shows favoritism. So, if they feel like they had to leave, you can't really say anything. They left, and they left on before things got even more dangerous.
As the cars now pulling up to the grid here for the first of our quarter-final races. As Mertz is going to be on the outside here. That's a very unfamiliar territory for the defending champion.
Yeah, he's used to hugging the inside and, defending going into turn 1, but, he knows what to do. He'll probably get through the corner okay. He just got to weed through the field a little bit.
As trying to find a good camera angle. We still have yet to get a good camera angle of the grid here, so we'll have to do helicopter all race long. Grid is Wetz, Columbia, Hagenstein, Mertz, and Livengood will be on the back row in car number 51. As lining them up for the first of the quarterfinal races here. I expect Mertz will probably try and get to the first corner first to get this quarterfinal win. Getting ready to go. It's lights out, and away we go. And off the line, it's going to be Hagenstein getting the jump into the first corner. Side by side of the teammates. Around the first hairpin, it's going to be Hagenstein taking the fight to his team owner. Then Mertz, Livengood, Wetz, and Columbia. To the Joker goes Mertz and Livengood and Columbia. So at the end of the first lap, it's going to be Mertz who leads in car number 1.
Yeah, just like I said, going into the start right there, he just had to keep his composure on the outside, and like I said, he just picked through him.
So now the top 3 have taken the Joker. Hagenstein is there is Columbia. Looks like he hit the tires in car number 39. Wetz in 5th place. The person holding all the cards is Hagenstein in car number 27. He has not taken the Joker, so he will take the fight to his team owner, as already on lap 3, races go insanely quick here in Talladega.
Yeah, the track is so short, you don't realize that the race is over. I've had a couple of times where I thought the race was still going on, and the track's so short, it was over in the blink of an eye. You can really lose track.
Mertz hits the wall!
The course is complicated too, just right there, like I said. He just had a little too much speed that time and he hits the wall.
As now, it looks as though as we take the white flag, it's going to be Mertz leading, Livengood in 2nd. Wetz has taken the Joker, so he's going to be battling for the 3rd spot. Through the chicane, it's Mertz, and Livengood slams into the tires, and over he goes in car number 51. He's going to try and get back going again. This is for 2nd. Keep in mind, it doesn't matter. They make contact! And all 3 of them, Wetz is around for the 2nd consecutive week. Livengood had to take to the Joker, and Mertz will win quarterfinal 1. Hagenstein in 2nd, and Livengood is calling that to be under review.
I really don't know about that. I mean, he knew Hagenstein had to go to the Joker, and he cut off his line, to be honest with you. I mean, he was there, but if he has to go to the Joker, I mean, I don't know what to say about it.
So here we go. From half speed, you're going to see Livengood. He was trying to catch his teammate, and he overcompensated and slammed into the tire barrier there. And here is Hagenstein and Wetz on their way. There's Mertz going by, our camera there. Livengood tries to merge back, and it looks like he just drove right into Hagenstein. Wetz got involved as well, so the 3 cars that were in the incident last week have wrecked again. Livengood had to take it to the Joker again, so he will obviously not transfer. But a bizarre incident here.
Yeah, it was a little weird, but, yeah, you just got to make sure you know where everyone's going. I'm pretty sure that the guys on the radio are telling him, hey, he's got the Joker, and if, you just ignore that, things like this will happen.
As we're getting ready now for the 2nd quarterfinal race. And this will be the other 4-lap race. It's going to be Denice, Maikos, Dylan Smith, and Jonathan Taylor. As it's good to see Chad Maikos back in that Citroen. We talked 2 weeks ago in Valgenswaard how he is leading that Citroen program, so it's really cool to see the Citroen team.
Yeah, he's trying to fight back in the Citroen, and the reliability issues. Let's see if they have a good package for Talladega. It is a shorter course, so I think you'll be okay.
Getting ready, it's lights out, and away we go, and off the line, it's going to be Dylan Smith with the hole shot starting the first lap, but they're 3 wide into turn 1. Maikos and Denice backed out of it. Smith goes wide, so this will allow... Never mind, Maikos gets turned, penalty box for Doug Denice, so it's going to allow Dylan Smith to pull away as he takes it to the Joker in car number 22.
Yeah, Doug Denice just got into him right there. He's still trying to lead that privateer charge, and things like this will happen. It was a clear penalty.
So that's going to leave Maikos in 2nd, Taylor in 3rd, Denice around to the grid here. You have to stop at the grid. That is the penalty box here in Talladega. And I think this race is already over, to be honest. As, yes, Dylan Smith just had a little bit of a hiccup there, but he's so far ahead of everybody else, and he already took his Joker.
Yeah, Dylan Smith's been looking strong this season. He's not in the points lead or anything like that, but he's been one of the, well, he had that big problem in Island Rally, but I don't really know what to say. It'll just show him that, you know, he's still a contender.
He is in the 5-time defending Constructors Champions, Revolution Racing. He won in Valgenswaard for the 2nd consecutive season. So he is, that Mitsubishi still has pace, but it's up to the young German to grow the program and take the fight to Chris Wetz as the white flag is already out.
Like Jonathan Taylor took his Joker, now he's up in the 2nd.
So the young American, who I believe was on his way to the circuit in Island Rally. His car was there, and then his team said the race is already over. They must have mistimed the flight there. But nonetheless, it's going to be Dylan Smith taking the quarterfinal win here.
Looks like Jonathan Taylor's going to get 2nd as Micah's got into the tire chicane after the jump and couldn't get back going.
As both of them will finish up here, Denice and Micah's.
And Denice in the privateer effort, leading the privateer charge now. I mean, still not one of the stronger guys out there, but he's out here every week, like we said. You know, just giving it his all.
I think he's comfortably leading the privateer championship too, which is really nice to see for the young American. And here is semifinal A. Already on the semifinals, this track always has fast races.
Yeah, just go to show. Like I said earlier, you know, you just lose track of the lap. And you blink or you take yourself out or something, and the race is already over. So
it's Wetz, Columbia, Hagenstein, and Maikos getting ready for the first of our 6-lap races here. Who will get it? The winner transfers. It's lights out, and away we go off the line. What a start from Hagenstein in car 27 as he starts the first lap, blitzing away from the field. But Mike goes on the outside, trying to take the fight to him. American versus Dutchman. It's going to be Maikos sneaking in front of Wetz as Hagenstein will pull away.
Yeah, Hagenstein got a beautiful jump. He looked like one of those like funny car racers off the line, like he really anticipated.
As Columbia hits the wall, so take him out of the equation. Wetz gets by Maikos in the dirt. We saw that numerous times a few seasons ago, and at the end of the first lap already, it's Tristan Hagenstein out front.
Yeah, Maikos hitting the jump, got a little swirly right there, but he's still making up time. That Citroen's got a lot of straight line speed, but the cornering is not good on the car.
As they hit the wall there, Hagenstein will take it to the Joker in the Klondike Subaru. So does Maikos. This will leave Wetz to take his Joker later on. And at the end of lap 2, it's Hagenstein leading.
I think Hagenstein's got this. He's pulled away comfortably right now.
As remember, the Subaru MRT program is phenomenal on these tighter tracks with those hatchbacks. So, I don't know what they did. I know Bridgestone brought a really super soft compounded tire for Hagenstein. So let's see what the Dutchman can do. Currently out front as crossed flags wave.
Yeah, I think the tire compound helped too. A lot of these drivers are running a harder compound because of the tight turns. You know, you want something that will stay, you know, together, and they really don't want to switch out tires between each race. But MRT, they can afford that, and you know, they can afford to waste money on rubber. See, right now he is pulling away effortlessly.
There's 2 to go now. I think the only spoiler here is going to be Wetz. I don't believe he's taken his Joker. He will be the spoiler here in this semifinal race. Unless Hagenstein really screws up. I think he's got it.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to the second place right here. As I'm pretty sure Wetz still has to take his Joker now. And I believe he's going to get him because the normal course is just way too long.
There he goes to the Joker in car 71. Where is Hagenstein? There he is, coming to the white flag lap here. Will Hagenstein hold it? He does, taking the white flag. So I think, sorry to cut you off, he got held up by Maikos there earlier on in the race.
It's going to be maybe a little bit of lap traffic, but I don't think it's enough. No, Arnold Columbia goes to the Joker. So track is clear for everyone.
I believe Columbia already took one, but he's so far behind it wouldn't really matter. He just took it to stay out of the way. And it's going to be Hagenstein moving on to another final here in Talladega as he wins the first of our two semifinals. Second will be Wetz. Micros will have to go to the LCQ as well in car number 25, finishing in third. And Arnold Columbia in the Klondike Ford finishes fourth.
Good to see Arnold Columbia out here again trying Rallycross for another time. He was in Canada, and then he was at the Proving Grounds. Now he's on a tighter course, but looks like he still can't get a feel of these race cars.
As remember, the Klondike program really needs some work. They're using the old Mangled Lemon stuff, and I don't believe that's the best of equipment. As the second of our two semifinals, it's Living Good, Jonathan Taylor, and Doug DeNice. And I don't want to be mean, but I think this race is already over.
Well, again, we're at Talladega, so you never know, but Living Good.
Living Good, clutch problems in car number 51. Jumping the start considerably. It's lights out and away we go. So he has to get the time off. So it's going to be Jonathan Taylor and Doug DeNice into the first corner here. Who will get the lead? Taylor leads. DeNice in second. Living Good in third.
And clutch problems for the 51 right there. I was about to say he's not been having a good, his mindset hasn't been clear recently after the penalty in Island Rally, so he's really fighting a more personal battle than on the racetrack.
Is now getting held up by car number 42 is car number 51. Remember, DeNice now has not taken his Joker, and DeNice has been relatively fast, so let's see what the young American can do as Jonathan Taylor to the outside. Living Good diving it in on car number 42.
Yeah, Living Good's trying to get around Jonathan Taylor, but Taylor right now is holding a good pace. Let's see if he can keep it up. I'd love to see him go into the final round.
As these two, DeNice, 32-132. I don't believe timing and scoring counted the laps of Taylor and Living Good yet, so we're going to have to see here. Taylor hits the wall, and contact between them, and penalty box for car number 51. That seals it.
No, a downhill effort again this week. He's not happy. More mental trouble for Living Good, and it's just translating on the track now.
And now you can tell he's mad. He's throwing the car all over the track in car number 51. As lap number 4 begins, this will forfeit his potential semifinal win, and he's going to have to go to the penalty box.
Yeah, he's furious right now. I think right now he's just waiting to get this round over with. It's not been a good showing for him the past couple weeks.
Stop and go penalty. 2 laps to go for now for DeNice, who leads from Taylor and from Living Good. So Living Good still has a chance, I think. But it's a long shot.
Yeah, he's running out of time here. I think only got like half a track left. I'm not quite sure on the lap count.
Coming to the white flag. Still behind Taylor, so I don't think he'll be able to make it, but he's still got 1/2 of a mile left to try and make something happen in car 51, but Doug DeNice looking like he'll make the final here in Talladega.
It'd be nice to see him make the final here. He's just got to make sure he keeps the car pointed forward.
As over the dirt for the final time in semifinal B, I think this is DeNice's race. Taylor is close, but he's not going to get any closer. Over the jump for the final time, it's going to be Doug DeNice through to the final for the first time in 2015 B as he wins semifinal B. To the LCQ will go Taylor and Living Good.
Oh, now it's just unsportsmanlike right there. Living Good just floored it into the 42 car.
As you can tell, he is blaming Jonathan Taylor for this incident. Furious over the radio, saying that was not a fair penalty. And he's actually saying that the incident between Tristan and himself should have been a penalty if Taylor wrecked himself. Not really sure what he's trying to say there. As LCQ now This will be interesting because he's got 3 more laps to try and make it through to this final.
Yeah, you don't really see the 51 in an LCQ, but I mean, when you start racing like this, it's going to come down to you being in the LCQ. There's a difference between just being slow on the track and going to the LCQ, and just blatantly trying to dump people to get to a final.
As we're waiting here for everyone to get on the grid, as Living going to be on the outside pole. Let's actually bring this up now that the cars are on their way. The first row of the grid for the LCQ, it'll be Maikos, Wets, Taylor, and Livingood. And then the second row will be Arnold Columbia. Getting ready to go for the LCQ. It's a 3-lap dash to see who will make it through. Top 2 transfer here in Talladega. It's lights out, and away we go, and off the line, Livingood gets the jump, but Maikos is hanging there, not giving it up for the Canadian. Into turn 1, who's going to budge? Wets looks to the outside, they're 3 wide in the braking zone. Taylor looks to the inside of Livingood. Maikos and Livingood make contact, and through the chicane, it's Maikos, Livingood, Taylor, Wets, and Columbia.
Maikos is showing he's trying to fight hard, and that's the only way he's going to be able to go in the Citroen. He's really got to push the other cars around. I mean, don't slam him into the wall, but I mean, at least say, hey, I'm just here. I'm going to give you a nudge and move him out of the way. And oh, and he slides it into the wall right there.
Because I don't think the traction's very good on those Yokohama tires. As now Taylor in second. These two are out and away from Livingood, Wets, and Columbia. Livingood goes to the Joker. Maikos and Taylor are having a hell of a battle as Columbia to the Joker as well, I believe. Side by side over the jump with the final lap now in hand.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the transfer spot right here.
As it's getting intense between Maikos and Taylor. Taylor looks to the inside. They make contact, and it looks as though they're both spinning in 25 and 42. They go to the Joker again, so that's going to invalidate them as they cross the line here. Here comes Livingood. He will win the LCQ. Wets will be second. Third will be Columbia. And I believe, I'm not sure actually, how Race Control will rate the 42 and the 25.
Looks like they're just racing around for the final spot.
As we're going to take a look at that accident there, as this little jump here, this chicane, it's produced more bizarre wrecks today than any other season.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, he decided to, he kind of manned up right there and tried to force it into a spot where there's not really a lot of passing, and it almost worked. It almost worked.
I think that they might have had the gap to beat Wets, so that, I mean, now we can't really, guess as to what it would have done. It's coulda, woulda, shoulda. If they wouldn't have wrecked, who knows? It might not be Wets in this final.
Yeah, I know. It would have been nice to see, newcomer Jonathan Taylor in there, or Chad Maikos getting the Citroen in there too. But, something happened like that. Taylor just ran out of room, and after that, it just got swirly over the jump.
Here we go. Mertz, Smith, Livingood. Hagenstein denies Wets. Getting ready for 8 laps here in Talladega. This is going to be good for round number 4 of the NASA RallyCross Challenge. It's lights out, and away we go, and off the line, it's 3 wide with Mertz, Smith, and Livingood. At the line, it's going to be Livingood with the hole shot, but he does not have the groove. Wets goes to the outside. It's going to be Mertz and Dylan Smith into the first corner. Livingood gets by one of his cars, so Aftershock is 1-2 through the chicane.
Let's see if it holds up right here. Mertz takes the Joker right now, and Livingood, and almost everybody except for Hagenstein and Mertz, take the Joker.
So Hagenstein follows his team owner, there, to complete lap number 1. Then it's going to be Livingood, Dylan Smith, Wets, and Denice. As these two are out and away from the rest of the field, they have the clear track, and it looks like Mertz will take it to the Joker again, so he will get those laps out of the way.
Hagenstein follows suit with him, so I don't know if this is a different strategy or what. They're trying to pull a huge breakaway from the field right now. But right now they're 1-2 and it's working.
As now Dylan Smith in third, as we can focus on these battles now that we know that they are so far ahead of the field. As look at that, they're across the track compared to now Chris Wetz in the third spot. It's DeNice, then Smith, then Livingood.
I don't know what happened to Livingood. He started out and, he was on the front row, and now he's fallen back to the last position of the race.
There's something wrong with car number 51. He takes it to the Joker here, so that will bring him into fourth behind Wetz. Dylan Smith now sixth. Mertz and Hagenstein are cruising away with this lead.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Livingood. I think it's because of the mental problems again, but
Joker again for car 51, as we will see crossed flags for Mertz in car number 1, pulling away. Livingood now cycles to third.
don't really know what to say right now. So all the cars are spread out, and it's kind of hard to keep track of scoring. So
Looks like DeNice has a transponder issue in car number 10. It's going to be Mertz, Hagenstein. Those two have not changed. Livingood now in third. Wetz, I think, has a Joker in his pocket. Then it's DeNice and Dylan Smith. Has 3 laps to go for Mertz in car number 1, trying to make it 2 race wins in a row. The last time he did that, and the only other time he did that, was 2012B, Canada and Negus. He cannot hold momentum to win 2 races in a row.
I think he's figured out the right combination of how to drive this in Brazen now. I think he's got the groove back after Island Rally, and he spent a lot of time tweaking this car to his liking. So, and it's showing out here in Talladega. He's got the lead, and he's pulling away.
2 to go. And this race quickly coming to a close for the 4-time defending champion. Once again, this might be the last NASA RallyCross race. We don't want to say it is. We don't want to say it isn't. All we could say, it might. And Mertz potentially signing this series off with the best possible result. Coming to the white flag.
It'd be nice to see him on the top step again. And if it's the final race, if it is the final race, say, hey, I was on the top step in the last race.
White flag, it's Mertz, Hagenstein, Wetz, Livingood, DeNice, and Smith. The top 2 do not have Jokers. I don't believe Wetz does either. So the top 2 are sealed. The fate is in the hands of, I believe, actually, Doug DeNice. I think he has a Joker left. Mertz over the tabletop jump. It's going to be win number 16 for the German. Easily takes victory in Talladega. It's going to be Hagenstein in second. Wetz is third. And Doug DeNice will finish fourth. Photo finish for fifth. It's going to be Smith, then Livingood.
Oh no, and the Joker came into play again on the last lap and said final turn. I can't believe it. Dylan Livingood not on the podium tonight.
Mertz is trying to celebrate in such a limited space. I think he's just going to call it quits right now because he just smashes the car into the wall. And I think he's going to call the celebration quits. But that's your winner here in Talladega.
What a run for Doug DeNice. He comes up in the 4th position. It's good to see. It's not a win. It's not a podium, but good to see him.
Let's see this. Let's find a replay of this last lap. That was crazy. I think there was a photo finish for 5th spot. As we're going to roll it to half speed. Here's DeNice. I don't know where DeNice got that speed from. But here he is. He's clearly out in 4th. Livingood has the momentum over the jump. Frame by frame here. That's it. Look at that. 106 versus 118. A bumper determines the 5th spot.
Yeah, it was pretty close right there. And Livingood's not going to be happy about it, but it is what it is at this point.
The official results for Talladega. Mertz wins in car number 1, continues the red plate, win number 16 for him in his career. It's Hagenstein in 2nd, Wetz 3rd, DeNice 4th, Dylan Smith 5th, Livingood 6th, Columbia, Michaels, and Taylor. The Drivers' Championship after 4 rounds, like I mentioned twice before, this might be the last NASA Rallycross race ever. If it is, Mertz will be champion. If it's not, we'll see you guys in St. Eustache. But Mertz 77, Livingood 58, 19-point lead That's incredible. Dylan Smith, Hagenstein, Wetz, the top 5. Then it's Smith, Lambert, Denice, Michaels, and Nicholson. The Manufacturers Championship here. The Constructors Championship, actually. Excuse me there. Aftershock 132, Revolution Racing 116. And Subaru MRT, Hagenstein might actually pass LMT by himself for third in the Constructors Championship. And then the Manufacturers Championship, Subaru, Mitsubishi 8167, Volkswagen, Ford, and Citroen. As this was an interesting race.
Yeah, you just saw. Oh, you pretty much saw right in front of your eyes Dylan Livingood just having a mental breakdown on the track. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but that's basically what happened. That's the only way I can describe it. And again, Josh Merckx picks up 2 victories in a row from Island to here. Can he make it 3 in another series? Because this Saturday he's going open wheel racing in Italy.
Are you Josh Mertz now making these program notes? As
Yes.
Like Daniel just said, round number 1 of the ISCA Open Wheel Championship Series in Franciacorta this Saturday. So expect the broadcast probably Sunday or Monday, ASN on demand. We have to figure out when we will be able to post that. If the NASA Rallycross contingent can come up with something, we will see you next week in St. Eustache. We will let you know if something happens in regards to the Rallycross Championship, because just because if NASA collapses, these drivers will want to race on. And we will be sure to post some sort of tribute video to this fantastic series that has been going on for 10 seasons, 3 years, so many memories involving this series, and it's sad to see it potentially come to a close. Like I said, we'll let you guys know on the ASN Facebook page if anything happens. For Daniel Bellamy, I'm Josh Mertz. If this is the last race, it's been a fun ride. If it's not, next week, St. Eustache. But until then, so long, everyone.